And hello, everybody. Welcome to another Intent Company Live. It's Tuesday, February 27th. We are in week number 7. I get a nod from Chelsea. Yes, coming number right. 32. Yes, because the end of the week would be 35. 5 times 7 is 35. Look at that. I still got my multiplication tables. How you like that? That's the kind of insight you're getting here in Intent Company Live. You're welcome. So I know that you're excited to share that information. You're very impressed with what we're doing over here. So help us out. Share the word of what we're doing. We're going to go through a good one today. We're going through 10 ways that you can encourage referrals for your business. How can you, what are some shifts, some things you can push on, things you can do to encourage more referrals coming into your business. So 10 ways that you can encourage your referrals. So help us out. Get the word out.
Hey guys, welcome back. And make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell for notifications.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Braden. That's right. Can you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that stuff. Get the word out for us. I appreciate it. So we are meeting Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. and on Mondays whenever I decide to go live. But we are doing this for 75 consecutive lives. We're going over marketing advice, sales advice, business growth, personal growth, just basically how to help entrepreneurs thrive in all areas of their life, right? So come and meet us here 5 p.m. most days, Monday through Friday. Also, just want to encourage you to take advantage of some of the things we have. We got our Focus and Fire workshop. You can follow us on social media. You can take our customer journey assessment, which we're about to launch a revamped version of, which is going to be really great. We got our Intent Company group, which you can now get on the your favorite app store. And you can get your WOW campaign blueprint. All cool free tools, things you can download, things you can use to grow your business. So go to intentcompany.com/live and check it out. Share them. Click the links. Do the stuff. Help us out. Get the word out. So you're going to have some really great information. It's going to be fantastic. All right. So today, 10 ways that we can grow our referrals, which grows revenue. You know, the kind of businesses I deal with a lot, that's the major driver is referrals. And referrals are great. And it says something about you if you already get referrals. It says something about the kind of business you are. It says something about the way that you operate. But there's certainly aspects of our business that we can push on. There's certain strategies, there's certain things that we can do to encourage more referrals. And so we want that. That's a sign of a healthy business, a business that's getting regular flow of referrals. And so that's what we're going to cover today, 10 ways to get referrals. Okay, so let's start with number one. Number one is kind of what we're talking about. Like, do a good job. That's like the number one way to get referrals, right? If you think about it, if you're not delivering the goods, if you're not taking care of your customers, if you don't have good customer service, you're not delivering on the expectations that you set, what's going to happen? You're not going to get referrals, right? So, you know, if you watch any of our content that we have on customer journey marketing, we talk about the idea, right? Awareness is I know you, affinity is I like you, action, somebody buying something is saying I believe you, but then the way that you treat your customer after that first transaction is what creates trust. And trust is the currency of referrals. Nobody's going to refer business to you if they don't trust you, right? If they don't trust that you're going to take care of them. In fact, people are actually willing to spend their own money and even like continue to give you money if they're maybe not completely satisfied, but they won't give you a referral. Right? They'll go through their own kind of difficulties with your brand, but they're not going to tell other people to go through that, right? They care about their reputation. They care about the recommendations that they make. And so referrals are really a byproduct of trust that's been developed by you delivering and I would say exceeding the expectations that you set. right? So deliver the goods, take care of your clients, do a good job, communicate frequently, right? Like just do a good job. So that's why like with us, like we do a lot of advocacy marketing stuff, and a lot of times customers go, I already get referrals. Like, great, you're the perfect client for us. That means that you do a good job. Now let me throw fuel on the fire. Let me build some stuff that's going to see that expand tremendously, right? So it's actually a good thing. So the number one way to generate more referrals is to actually do a great job. And again, expectations is really important. So here's the interesting thing. You can actually do a great job, but if the client doesn't know or doesn't perceive that you did a great job, they'll be dissatisfied. And especially like if you have any kind of like professional service company, like you work with other businesses. I mean, this applies to all businesses, but especially if you're in like a B2B kind of business. The reason that businesses are hiring you, right? The reason businesses hire us is because they want growth, right? They want ease. They want to see the business improve in some way. And so it's quite possible for you to deliver, do everything you said you're going to do on time, put all the pieces in place and even get like what you perceive as good results. But if the customer doesn't see that as being beneficial, it doesn't see that, then they could be dissatisfied when even though you actually delivered really great results. So one of the most important things is to set expectations, right? So like with your customer, what do they expect? Is that something that, we have part of our onboarding, we have a question that we say it's something like this, like what has to happen 12 months from today for you to feel that this is a raging success, right? Like this was absolutely amazing. You want to keep going. So you got to get clear and quantify what success looks like from the customer. And actually, it's funny, when you say that, most times they'll be like, I don't know. Don't let them stay there. If they say, I don't know, because that just means that no matter what you do and how great it is, they're not going to be satisfied. So it's really important to set the expectation. Mr. Customer, you paid X, we're going to do Y. What if Z happened? Yeah, actually, that'd be pretty good. Or no, I expect more. So at least in that process, you can get a line to say like, yeah, this is what we're going after. Because then you can, and you document it and you make it clear. You put it on your reports, you put it on, whatever, I don't know, CRM, all the different stuff that you're doing. And then you can kind of keep going back to that. Right. It's one of the reasons, like, we have a customer success manager. And one of the aspects of that is to help that customer say like, hey, Mr. Customer, you said this is what success will look like. And every once in a while, we're checking in on that number and showing like, hey, look we exceeded that number. We did this, we did that. You almost have to remind them of what their expectation was and show them how you're exceeding the expectation, right? And that happens in all kinds of businesses, but I think the B2B realm is probably the most common kind of difficulty of making sure that you clearly communicate what the expectation is, because when you exceed the expectation, again, that's going to be a facilitator for referrals. All right, number two way to encourage more referrals. Ask. This is something that actually is super underutilized, right? If you're a business and you already get referrals just almost like just organically, like randomly, you just get referrals. What does that say? That says that people like you. That says people like what you deliver. People feel confident to tell other people that you are a resource, that you're somebody good to go to. Use that as, that's a great sign. You know what? Don't be afraid to ask, and you got to think that there's key moments to ask for a referral, right? You got to think there's moments where maybe like after onboarding or after the delivery of the product, or after you checked in, hey, how's everything going? You're like, oh man, I'm so excited. This is awesome. This is great. I love what I'm doing. Hey, that's fantastic. By the way, do you know anybody else that might be able to benefit from what we did for you? Like, how easy of a question is that? And it could be in an email format, could be a text message, could be just a good old question. Just ask. You think that'll you could double your referrals just by asking, and when you ask at the right time. So ask, in an automated sense, we, with like our advocacy machines that we build, we take surveys and reviews, like take these snapshots of like what time or like how people are feeling about the customer, how much we've met their expectations, right? So if the customer tells us something or gives us a signal that they're very happy with what we do, right? They left a 5-star rating, they left a positive review, they filled out a survey and said 10 out of 10, I'd recommend you to someone else. Immediately trigger some sort of ask. Again, whether it's digital or have somebody call or what have you. If you have a sales team, if you have like an SDR team or sales reps, what have you, if somebody fills out that review and says, yeah, I'm like super satisfied, 10 out of 10, I'd recommend you, you should trigger the sales team and they can pick up the phone and say, wow, you know what? We take this survey really, really seriously. You put a 10 out of 10. We're super excited. Thank you so much. By the way, do you know anyone offhand that could benefit from our services? So that's a super important way, super easy way, to get more referrals is ask. All right. Number 3 way to get referrals, to expand your referrals, is with incentives. Okay. How can you, incentivize your customers to give you referrals? Now you gotta get a little creative, and different businesses are going to have a different kind of etiquette, right? There's certain things that are allowed, as far as, some things are legally allowed. Some it's more like just not good etiquette to do. But like, how could you maybe give free services, right? Could you give a free month? Could you give them a coupon to the parts department, or I don't know, like any kind of thing. But you got to think like, how could you incentivize and how could you make it plain? Right? Say like, hey, we give $100 X for every referral, or we'll give you 2 months of free services for every referral you send to us. Whatever that happens, communicate that, make it easy, make it easy, make it clear, and then package up easy ways for people to share, and that's another kind of one that I could go through. I'd say with any of these that we're talking about, make it easy for people to give referrals, right? Package up your story, package up the links, whatever the case may be. Make it easy for people to send you referrals. So what kind of incentives could you do? And again, it could be free products, free services. You could pay them. You could give them a gift card. Maybe they get some kind of access to something exclusive, right? We were working with a really well-known apparel brand that most of you would totally recognize. And, they built like a special line of clothing that was designed a certain way that was only for people who were like kind of their best customers, referrals, things like that. So it's kind of like inner circle kind of stuff, that are there, right? So that's number 3. All right. Number 4. Build personal relationships. Okay. Now, again, this is going to depend a little bit on the business. If you got a business where you've got a bunch of different customers, that's going to be a little bit more difficult to do. But how can you personalize and build strong relationships, with your customers? Do you have a client success team like we have, right? We have a team that's dedicated to connecting with current customers, checking in, how are they doing, what's going on. You could be an account manager, it could be inside sales rep, customer success, whatever you're talking about, but somebody who's their role is to ensure that the relationship is strong and ongoing strong, and keep checking in, right? So if your business has a ton of customers and that doesn't make sense, you do a couple different things. In any organization, any business, right? We talk about the law of 80-20, right? 20% of your customers are producing 80% of your revenue. And then 80-20 is fractal. So like if we only took that 20% of customers, right? So let's say 20% of your customers creates 80% of your revenue. If I grab that 20% of customers and I pull them out of the group, right? So that other 80% of customers, I'm not looking at them. Now I'm only looking at that 20% of customers. Even inside that group of 20 now that I'm now holding, 20% of those customers create 80% of the total revenue of that group. So it's like it goes layers, it's depth. It's like the movie Inception. It's a dream inside of a dream. It's that Pareto principle inside of the Pareto principle over and over and over again, right? So it just means that there's certain customers that are like, kind of more valuable to the company, right? And usually that's because they spend the most money. They already give you the most reviews. They're the most engaged customers that you have, right? So that means that not all customers are created equal. There's different value, not in their humanity, but in the revenue, the financial impact they have in your business. Okay. So why not treat them differently? Right? There's this phrase that we use a lot called high touch, low touch, tech touch. Right? So you got to think like if you've got a lot of customers, you got to designate that customer base and break it up into those three groups. Your best of your best customers, high touch. That means you have personal high touch, and he's probably even like this. If the business owner has contact, right? Like you have contact with a handful of your customers because they're so important, right? But then there's low touch, which means like maybe they don't have your cell phone, but you know what? They have the client success manager. They get on the phone with people. They have direct contact with somebody in your organization, and then you have the other customers, and they get tech touch. So that means maybe they're getting specific follow-up messages. There's personalized emails and text messages and follow-ups and checkups, like those surveys and things like that. So you want to foster positive relationships and connection ongoing. And so you can, again, I think looking at your business and applying high touch, low touch, tech touch is a great way to do that. Okay. Number 5, tap into your network. So it's kind of funny is there's another place to get referrals even outside of your business. And that's in the relationships that you have with other people, right? So it could be friends and family, could be business associates, different groups, right? You got to think there's actually entire groups like BNI and chamber groups and things like that that are made completely for referrals. I don't really love those groups per se. I mean, some of them are pretty solid, but yeah, I think the motivation of those groups is like, I'll give you a referral, you give me one, right? It's not really built off of respect and trust. I mean, I guess over time it can be, right? I've been invited to a few groups. You can tell they're kind of getting off the ground, and it's just a little, I got a list of 3 people who want some kind of thing. I would say don't build your own group. Build your own community. You have a community, like especially as an entrepreneur, you should have 3 to 5 other entrepreneurs that that you trust, that you spend time with. Entrepreneurship is a lonely sport. And, you think in your organization, you're the boss, you're the head, right? Like you can't have certain conversations with your team, right? There's just certain things that they're not seeing it like you are. They're not dealing with the struggles the way you are. They don't understand the pressure like you do. It's different. It's just a different role. And there's only one head of the company, right? There's only one head. So it's isolation just by that fact. And so you need to have a group of people that you can trust. You need to have somebody that you can call. That you can talk to, that you can shoot ideas off of, that understand the dynamics that you're dealing with. So it's really important to have those kind of groups. And, they could be people in your same industry, right? They could be people in different industries. A lot of the groups that I have are through like church-based groups. There's some awesome like CEO ministries, and especially if you can have business in another, concept, like you're a Christian and business owner, or you're, in geographical areas, so you can actually meet up, or just different things that you come together and you have that group. You have a network of people, and those networks are super important for like what I just mentioned, just health and communication and having that kind of community. But that's also a group that can be really perfect for referrals, and it should be authentic, and it should be mutually beneficial, right? Not a staged group just to, kind of drum up business. And so do you have a network? Do you have a community? Do you have people that you're connecting with outside the walls of your business? It's really important to do that. All right. Number 6, utilize technology and social media. Okay, so we talk about this a lot in our advocacy machine stuff, and you got to equip advocates. That's what we say. We say brand advocates are the ones who give the most referrals, right? So you got to equip them with tools that they can use, to refer you, right? And so if we're dealing, again, depending on the type of business, but people might want to refer you, but it's not going to be so much like, hey, call so-and-so and set up a quote and this and that. It could be that they share your content, right? So if you got people that like you and they're watching you, they're on your YouTube channel, they're here, they're there, and you're giving them great content and testimonials, value added content, like you're not just selling stuff, you're actually adding value, you're actually serving people, solving problems, making great content. By you posting that content or that you sharing that via your email system, text, all that different stuff, you're actually giving your brand advocates, you're giving people something that they can grab hold of, and then they can share it out, right? So equipping your advocates and then asking them as well, but giving them something to share. I use the analogy when I present on this, like a gym membership. So you've probably encountered a gym membership before. You've probably signed up for a membership, and there's a typical process, right? You get all signed up, you sign the contract, I'm joined the gym. And what does the person that signed you up usually do? They give you free passes. Give you like 3 or 4 free passes. Why? Because you're going to go tell all your friends, I'm working out, I'm going to the gym, getting fit, summer's coming, time to get it. All right, you got all excitement, and then you're like, oh, and I got these free passes. You want to go? All right, it's really easy for you to share with a friend and share with someone else a free pass to go to the gym. It's value add, it's free, it's fun, you get to go together. And then what happens? Well, then they're going to obviously try to sell a membership to your friend. So why doesn't the gym, after you sign up, give you a signed contract already filled out and just say, hey, you know what, just have your friend put their name here, sign, and they'll be all set up? Why wouldn't they do that? Because you would never pass it out to anyone, right? That's poor etiquette. We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't share that information, right? We wouldn't share a contract. That's like weird. It's like, well, that's pushy. That's too much, right? So likewise, if all you do is send promotional content, if you're always trying to sell, you're always trying to pitch, you're always trying to give the offer for the thing, what's going to happen? People aren't going to want to share it because it seems salesy. They're going to say, oh, it's another one of these things. So you're not going to find people actually sharing your stuff. But if you truly educate, you truly want to serve people, you truly want to solve problems, it's very easy to have your message shared to the world. So use technology, use social, use content in a way that actually encourages people to actually share by just genuinely serving them, solving their problems. Okay. All right. Number 7. Create an affiliate or referral program. Okay. Now this is a little bit different than like an incentive where like, oh yeah, somebody gets, this or get that. Like an affiliate kind of relationship is like a deeper level referral program that has a designed compensation, usually a percentage of sale attached to it. Now this won't apply for everyone, it won't apply for every business. And even in your business, it's not like everyone would sign up for an affiliate program, right? Because it could seem a little bit too over the top. But for instance, you might have, especially if you're in a B2B world, right? So this happens to me fairly often. I'm working with a client, getting them all set up with our advocacy stuff. Their clients, so my clients' clients could also benefit from what we do. So we have a conversation and we'll say something like, yeah, actually, I think what we do, we could totally help your network with, we could totally help them. And they'll be like, okay, well, how could we create something that's like a referral program? So let's say okay, well, I'll tell you what, we'll create a unique link. We'll do like a co-branded kind of thing. And actually I'm kind of mixing 7 and 8 together here, but we'll have a program where they have a unique link. And if you share that link, then anybody who clicks on that link and buys will track it and we'll give you a commission at the end, right? So it's like a referral program with a monetization system associated to it. Most common phrase would be affiliate. Now, another way you could do that is on a more of a consumer market would be the idea of like loyalty points, MVP points, right? Like you have an actual program where certain referral activity or certain things that they do generate points, and then those points get turned into like, a gift card or what have you. But in most service-based businesses, which is the businesses that we tend to work with, having some sort of like affiliate tracking system. So like that's one of the things that we have in our software. You can add your affiliates, you can build the landing pages, you can build the content, and all they do is literally just send out the link. And all the other marketing's pre-built, everything, tracks everybody that comes in, pays out your commissions. So like a more standardized referral program is really good. I will say, be cautious who you allow into a program like that. I wouldn't let anyone, because they're representing you at a deeper level, right? If they're sending off links that link to your landing page and your stuff, do you trust these people? What are they saying? Are they saying things that are going to represent you well? Are they, you should be a little bit more intentional about who you allow to join those kind of programs. Again, it's not for every business, and it's definitely not for every customer in your business, but it's a great way to create a regular flow of referrals and compensated referrals. So number 8 is kind of like really pivots off of that, and that's partner with complementary businesses. So again, if you have a business, right, this happens a ton. I recommend this a lot to clients in the home service space. All right, so you're an HVAC business, right? You do HVAC. That's your core thing. That's what you do, and you get in there, you do the job. They love you, think you're amazing. You get a great relationship, right? Well, what happens is when you do a good job, you get referrals. They trust your opinion. They trust your thoughts. So they might come to you and say, I need somebody to help with roofing. I need solar. I need this. I need that. And other businesses. Now, if you probably know, because you're in the business, which businesses are actually the most reputable, who's going to take care of them, and so on. And in fact, you can actually be intentional and almost have like a network of other home services businesses that you know, that you trust, that you've vetted, that you have a relationship with. And again, this connects really good with that affiliate program kind of thing, because each of those could have a unique link. And so anytime somebody's like, man, you get a good roofing company, you're like, oh, I sure do. Joe over at such and such is amazing. You know what? Let me send you a link, and send the link or do what have you. And so it's like a strategic referral type thing. They send you business, you send them business. Maybe there's a monetary transaction based on that. Maybe there's not. But I think that's a really great way to leverage each other's business. Plus, if you really are good, you really do deliver the goods, you really are an amazing customer service based business, and other great businesses, you're helping out your clients a ton, because, if they don't know a good person in a different industry, you're helping them avoid tons of headaches. And then there's some monetary, impact, and just a good way to do things. So that's a great way to get more referrals, is partner up with other complementary businesses, right? What shared customer, do you have a business you have a shared customer base with, but you're not competing against each other? This is really good. All right, number 9, host networking events. So that's a pretty cool way, especially so one of the key pillars of our automated advocacy machine is community, where you create a place where community can come together. And this doesn't even necessarily have to have anything to do with your business, right? So, actually Chamber of Commerce stuff does this all the time, where like you get to host an event, right? Maybe you get a cool office. A lot of businesses come to your thing. Now you have a little bit of exposure, right? But also you could build networking events, conferences, events, any kind of place that's going to be a really easy way for your customers or your kind of, your network to bring other potential customers to you. All right. And that's a great way to have referrals, because then they're right in you're face to face. Now, I will say, if you host networking events, right, like I don't even know if networking is the right way, but I would really try to educate as much as possible in some of those events. That's why, again, like trade shows, industry conferences, things like that work so well. Because if you host the event, you get to educate, you get to share. And again, it's just like the other content piece that we talked about, like serve people, solve problems. Like don't be pitching, don't be this and that, like just really take care of people. Give them great content. Be the thought leader. Be the authority. Be the the giver of great information. And what's going to happen? You're going to naturally get more referrals. You're going to naturally get more people that are interested. And if you throw a really great event that doesn't seem like you're just trying to sell them stuff, you could do these regularly, and more people will actually come. Right? Your people will feel confident to bring more people because they don't think you're just trying to sell them something. So think about ways you could leverage events, hosting events, things like that to maximize referrals. All right, last one, number 10. Monitor, test, and improve whatever you're doing. So I say this over and over again, but the beautiful part of marketing, digital, all the different stuff that we're talking about here is it's highly measurable. Right, you make a certain piece of content, you share it through social, you get to see how many shares did it have, how many comments, what did people do. If you have an affiliate program, you can see how many people are coming in, how many people are taking advantage of the offer, what do they close, what revenue do they get when they close. Like it's all measurable. So one of the best ways to do, even now, like look at your business now. Where do most of your referrals come from? What kind of customers are they? What are the types of products and services that they buy? At what stage do they tend to give you referrals? Is it after onboarding? Is it random? Is it after a customer support thing? Like look at your business, look at what's happening, see what's working, and then improve it, right? Make systematic improvements. Wow, this tends to happen whenever I send off the newsletter every quarter and every 4 months, that sends in referrals. Maybe you should do it monthly. How does that impact your business? Right, so you look at what's going on, you measure, and then you make a strategy, right? So check out our content on SAM. You look at where you're at, you think about where you want to go, you come up with a strategy, you act, implement, and then you measure, and you allow the data to help you make a better strategy, implement, measure, and it's just the flywheel of continual improvement. So with anything we're talking about, anything we're doing, always test. If you're testing and you're intentional about seeing consistent growth, you're just going to keep getting better and better results. Like success is inevitable if you're committed to split testing, learning, growing, and getting better. So that was 10 ways that you can improve, you can get more referrals, you can encourage more referral activity. So even though referrals seem kind of like an organic event. Oh, I just do a good job. A bunch of referrals come to me. Great. But like you can actually do things to get a greater number of referrals. Like what would happen if you doubled your referrals? What would that do to your business? Right? So why don't we make steps to progressively increase and grow in that way? Right? So I hope you guys found this valuable. We will see you again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time. This is Billy Robbins with Intent Company. I thank you guys for watching. Again, make sure you comment, share, like, get the word out. If you like this content, please get it out there. Help us out. And appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right. Take care, everybody.